If I could take all of vocal technique and distill it down into one concept, this is what I would say. Welcome back to Singing Tips with LJDstudios, the space where we take difficult singing concepts and break them down so you can actually understand and implement them for better singing. I'm Laura, and today I'm going to summarize all of vocal technique for you with one idea. It is a little bit advanced, but hang with me. I really want to get into this. Before we get into it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you haven't already, download my free guide, The 3-Tiered Approach to Becoming a Better Singer, linked in the description. Additionally, if you would like some direct feedback from yours truly on your singing, make sure to check out my membership option. It's a low-cost, low-time commitment way to study singing without ever having to ask the question, am I doing it right? All right, so what is this one thing, right? You've seen on my channel, I've got I don't even know now, 60, 70, 80 videos, and I can keep going because there are so many components to vocal technique. However, if I could distill it down into one idea, it would be this: be a column, sing in the column. Now, what does that mean? I always do that, right? I give you something and then it's like, okay, well, now we got to talk about what that means. But that's it. Be a column, sing in the column. This concept that I'm about to give is a bit advanced, but it does not mean that if you are new to studying voice that you can't get something out of it. So here's what I mean by be a column, sing in the column. You as a singer, your whole body is your instrument, but really specifically, I think sort of from pelvic floor to soft palate is the primary component of your instrument. That's not to say that your legs don't influence your instrument. That's not to say that your arms or your hands don't. Your whole body is your instrument. But I really like to think of the space from pelvic floor to soft palate as being sort of the main piece of your instrument. So in this, we're going to just use some advanced imagery to create this idea of what it's like to be a column and then to sing in the column. So the first thing you need is to have awareness of your pelvic floor. If you don't have any awareness of it, if you know how to do a Kegel, that's your pelvic floor. If you don't know how to do a Kegel, it's the feeling of trying to stop the flow of urine, or if you want to think about the opposite of lengthening the pelvic floor, it would be the muscles that you engage to start the flow of urine. But regardless, the muscles that you use to pee, those are your pelvic floor muscles, okay? That's sort of the base of your pelvis, hence the name pelvic floor. Your soft palate is at the roof of your mouth. If you take your tongue to the roof of your mouth and pull it back until you get to that fleshy spot, that is your soft palate. Your soft palate rises when you're swallowing, for instance, to keep food and drink from coming out your nose. We also lift our soft palate when we sing to keep air from coming out our nose. I like to think of the soft palate as having this domed-like shape. So you have the pelvic floor on the bottom, which especially when we're lengthening it down, creates this sort of like this shape. And then when we lift the soft palate, it creates this shape, right? And so now we've got this rounded top and this rounded bottom, right? And then just sort of image for yourself from soft palate to pelvic floor, this column. And then we just want to sing in the entirety of that space. We don't want to just sing in the front of the column or just in the back of the column or just in the top of the column or just in the bottom. We want to sing in the entirety of that space. So this happens in your imagination. I would call this exercise advanced imaging, but it really encapsulates most of vocal technique into one idea, right? Which is, again, be the column, sing in the column. So if you can draw a line in your mind's eye from the center of your pelvic floor to the center of your soft palate. And as you sing, visualize the sound moving consistently up and down in that space. And again, visualize the shape of a column, which is sort of rounded, right? So it's not just like you're in the front or you're just in the back. You are right in the center of your body. And that's what's going to create balance in your singing. And this is totally in the imagination. I know you guys who have followed me know I generally like to be concrete, but I find this one image really useful for most people, assuming you have good awareness of your pelvic floor and good awareness of your soft palate. If you don't, I would work to build up that awareness first so that you then have something you can image, right? And then hold that image in your brain. And again, think about that sound. just moving back and forth, sort of in this consistent motion, up and down between those spaces, going all the way down into the pelvic floor, all the way up to the soft palate. Another way you can think about it is think of the pelvic floor like a trampoline. And when you go down into those muscles of the pelvic floor, it springs you up all the way up to the soft palate, right? And that's really what's occurring when we're singing. Okay, that's it. That's all I've got. That's all a vocal technique in one idea. Be the column, sing in the column. The column is the space between your soft palate and your pelvic floor. Happy singing.